Hi everyone, this is András Kristóf, Galaxis founder. I'm going to be your host today, and I'm here with a couple of great people from the Galaxis team and from Chainlink. Shoya, would you like to do the honors and introduce the speakers?
Hello everybody. Nice to be here with you. We are really happy to have in this space Nicole from Chainlink and Andras from Galaxis. First of all, hi Nicole. Would you briefly explain what Chainlink does for our audience?
Hi, Andres, and hi, Shoya. Thank you so much for having me here today. And well, hey, everyone, just for context, I am a success manager on the Build program here at Chainlink. And I work very closely with Galaxis and most projects in the program, so lucky me. And the Chainlink side, Chainlink is the industry standard Web3 services platform. And we provide several service types that have really enabled trillions of dollars in transaction volume across DeFi, gaming, NFTs, and other major industries. So, as the leading decentralized Oracle network, Chainlink empowers developers to build advanced Web3 applications with access to real-world data and off-chain computation across any blockchain. So yeah, that's a little bit about me, about Chainlink, and happy to be here.
Wow, this sounds amazing. Now, Andras, would you very briefly explain what Galaxis does, because we also have the Chainlink audience here.
Sure. Galaxis enables people and entities with a community to monetize their own creativity and provide real value to their community members. So Galaxis, very simply put, is a community management and engagement system, and it's aimed for any people or any entity with a community, with a real community, to create unstoppable communities.
Wow, this sounds great. But let's dive deep into the history of Galaxis. When the idea of Galaxis started, how it was born?
That's been a minute. We started many years ago. Pretty much started our blockchain journey together with blockchain itself. We engaged with the technology for about 10 years now, and we have been working on Galaxis and the proto Galaxis for 3+ years. It started when we were working on an educational platform, and we wanted to create a funding and monetization framework that would work well with online communities working on education, working on creating high quality course material and then teaching it. For that, there was no, and there still is no, there is still no good way to fund and monetize such projects. And then we came up with the idea of how can we create these, if I want to simplify it, membership card based, digital membership card based communities, where membership cards can be given to the members and they can be incentivized and rewarded for doing things that make sense and helps the project, the community that they are in, which can be very different from different communities. So basically, we came up with an idea of a completely decentralized, distributed, unstoppable community where members can be rewarded and a sustainable community can be built around that idea. When we came up with this idea, we realized that this idea can be used for much more than educational projects. This can be used for all those use cases that are bringing a lot of value for real people, like open source projects, like educational, like ecosystem works, like social good projects. And if they can create and if they can provide a funding and monetization framework for those projects, then this can be used for any sort of community. So it could be a community of an artist, an actor, an athlete, a YouTuber, a cosplayer, a politician, anybody or any entity with a community. They can create their community, they can fully own it, and they can provide value to the community members, and they can enable the community members to sustain the project or the person and provide value back to the creators of that community. So Galaxis born out of a need to create funding and monetization for an educational project, and slowly developed into a project that can provide these features for any real community, Web3 or non-Web3.
Wow, I'd really love to listen our history, even though I'm with the team. Anyways, how Galaxis and Chainlink began working on Rush?
That's a long story, and that happened long time ago. And when we started to engage with Chainlink, I think the first engagements were business development. They brought in some fantastic partners to work with, that we did some very successful projects with. For example, the NBA, the Basketball Association. And from that, we started to work with Chainlink in basically every single avenue that we could. And we were receiving helps in multiple forms: business development, other ways of support from Chainlink, community building from Chainlink, and lastly, and very importantly, technology. We are basically using almost everything Chainlink can provide. Very importantly, the VRFs, the verifiable random numbers, and also their CCIP technology that enables you that when you are going to create your community on Galaxis, you can basically pick from multiple chains from where you want your community to build a home for themselves. And all of the important parts that makes us such flexible and accountable are coming from Chainlink, and I don't think we will ever be able to thank them enough.
Thank you, Andras. Speaking of Chainlink and their wonderful build program, Galaxis joined the build program, I think it was around maybe October 20th of 2022. So I really wanted to ask if Nicole could provide an intro and maybe go a little bit more in depth specifically to the build program aspect of Chainlink. It's a fabulous program, and I'd love to hear more about that.
Yes, definitely. Well, first of all, Andres, we are also very fond of the Galaxis team, and it's always been very exciting for us to be working together. And as you mentioned, you guys are using a lot of their solutions that we provide, and now are in the build program. So it's very exciting. The build program is a community and ecosystem program from the Chainlink Labs team, and we support both early stage and also established projects during their growth stage, offering several areas of support, mostly focused around technical support for sure, and enhanced access to our solutions, and also access to our ecosystem. So today we have around maybe 90 plus teams already, which is very, very exciting, including Galaxis, of course, which is one of the teams that has been around from the very beginning, as you guys were mentioning, and I think it was October of 2022. So it's been a long time. The program has been running from about that time until now, and we keep growing. We support teams from all across different blockchains, from different verticals. And yeah, we're just looking to really help projects cut through that noise in the space and support them in their growth stage.
That's great. Thank you so much, Nicole. Now, Andras, we've spoken a little bit about the wonderful benefits that Chainlink has brought to us. So, can you tell us specifically how we've benefited from the build programming and that networking?
In multiple ways, including introducing us and making introduction with other build program members, and also being able to be part of the Chainlink family, and getting us benefits in online and in the offline, in the real world as well. For example, we were lucky enough to be there in the Chainlink conference in Barcelona last year, and we were able to have stage presence and the booth and everything else, and a lot of support where we were announcing our platform launch and other important use cases. So that is just one of the benefits of the build program, but being able to constantly be connected with all the other build program members and with Chainlink, and benefiting from their community building efforts and from the connections that they are providing, including but not limited to business development, are just some of the few benefits that we are enjoying. And I don't even want to mention the fact that being associated with one of the real OGs of the space, and one of the, how do I put this, one of the most pragmatic blockchain technology providers that is decidedly stays above and beyond all kind of hype, and working on bringing the real benefits of the blockchain to real businesses is an absolute pleasure and an honor. So I think being able to associate with them is one of the biggest benefits of being in the build program.
Wow, always happy to hear so much details around us, around Chainlink. But if we look back in the past couple of years, what are Galaxis' biggest milestones in the Web3 industry? I know for sure that I lots of related to Chainlink technology, but let's go through the biggest milestones.
I might actually need some help with it, because what means a big milestone for me may not mean the big milestone for others. For us, the biggest one of the biggest milestone is to be able to provide pragmatic, useful technology on the blockchain for our partners. For example, again, as I mentioned, NBA, I can mention Mike Tyson, I can mention Val Kilmer, and a lot of other people. And we are not talking about NFT releases. We are not an NFT release platform. What we are doing is membership cards and putting features and functions and utilities of this kind of digital membership cards. One example, for example, many years ago, when we created that collection for Mike Tyson, even then there were redeemables on those assets, and that was a prototype version, a proto version of the Galaxis platform as it is. And so one lucky person who bought that specific asset were able to redeem a face-to-face meeting with Mike Tyson. So he bought the asset. He used the Galaxis technology to redeem it directly from the asset, got the meeting with Mike Tyson. As much as I know, he actually went to Mike Tyson's ranch and stayed there for like 2 days, even boxed with the man. And long story short, he so much liked the experience that after like a year or so, he became one of the seed investors of Galaxis. So the technology that Galaxis provided gave such an experience for somebody in the ecosystem that he became our investor. This is for me, this is one of the biggest milestones. But in general, to be able to reach out to tens of thousands of people, all of these through all of these projects, and provide them real benefits, redeemables, digital redeemables, physical redeemables, online meetings, autographs, a lot of different things that our digital assets can do. And anybody who is going to create their own community on the Galaxis platform, by definition, they will have access to all of this, and they can actually put these on their digital membership cards through a simple web interface. So this is not a simple NFT issuance platform. There are many of that, and they are doing a very good job. What we do, that if you have a community, you can create membership cards, and you can put on those membership cards things that make sense and make sense to your community and being valued by your community. And then if you give value to your community members, that community will support you. So what we are talking about is sustainable long-term communities around the person, around an idea, around the project that can provide sustenance and provide real utility through the Galaxis platform. And I think our biggest milestone is to be able to create this platform, and very soon we will be able to let everybody try and do it for themselves. Until now, unfortunately, most of the times we had to support the people utilizing the platform, but very soon, and I'm experienced enough not to say that, very soon we will be able to open it up for everybody, so people will be able to create their own community, add their own utility, their own features and functions and gamification. Let's say if you want to have one example for the gamification that is going on right now, check out our Punk Royale tournament that is being played with the Ether cards. And I think now we only have, out of almost 4,000 participants, now we are down to the final 8. And one of them will actually take the CryptoPunk home. So that is also part of the platform. Once you have your Galaxis community, you can create engagements as well, like Battle Royale tournaments and other things. And for me, creating this platform is probably the biggest achievements that we have ever done.
That's great. Thank you so much, Andras. I know we could talk a lot more about the numerous achievements, but I think,
yes.
Nicole, could you give us some insight into what you would consider some of Chainlink's biggest milestones? And I know there's a lot of them, so let's hear
it. Sure. Love to share. I think that, just as Andras mentioned, it's hard to define what are the biggest milestones. I think that we have been evolving and growing over time. Chainlink began offering data feeds and price feeds that really enabled DeFi, among other applications. And from then, we really continued growing, working together with others in the ecosystem. And yeah, I think most importantly, learning about their infrastructure needs. So this really led the team to launch new services that would really help them. So then came VRF, automation, proof of reserves, functions, and more recently CCIP, which I would say is probably, for me, maybe one of the biggest milestones. But yeah, the release of each of these solutions has been absolutely exciting and necessary to keep developing the ecosystem. We're just looking at providing good infrastructure that really helps people out there to keep building. So yeah, I'd say probably that.
That's fantastic, and I don't think I can highlight enough that almost anything we do, we would not be able to do without Chainlink. Chainlink provides us the infrastructure that we need to exist. And when it comes to cross-chain solutions, we basically follow Chainlink's footsteps, and we go wherever CCIP goes, because we need those pieces in order to deploy the rest of our infrastructure. And I just wanted to get back to that to the question again, because my amazing support team just gave me a list of what I should have said in the for the previous answer. So let me just very quickly mention these as well. So we did actually the first dynamic NFTs on the blockchain for it with Ether cards. We did the first forgeable NFT layers on the blockchain as well. We did the first Chainlink VRF and Oracle NFT integrations for LaMelo Ball. We did cross-chain, cross-layer, and fungible NFT integrations first as well. So in other words, you could have an NFT card which carries ERC20 tokens on them, and we did that many years ago. We did it with Ether cards, with GRD, with the Gene tokens, and so on. We did an Ethereum mainnet to Matic Polygon FT bridge, which is part of the platform, so you will be able to use that automatically as well. And we did the first on-chain collectible sticker book games with like a 35 Ether prize pool, if I'm not mistaken. That was also over a year ago when we did that. So there is actually a lot of things that we have done, and we can actually list it out as technical achievements. It's just sometimes I just need my team to remind me to all of that. Thank you very much.
Well, my next question would be the chaining technology we already use with Galaxis, but I think we pretty much listed. But maybe we should recap that we are using CCIP and what more in Galaxis.
VRF is super important. This is one of those things that seems so simple and so obvious until you actually learn about blockchains a little bit more. VRF stands for verifiable random numbers, and these are important for any kind of engagement, any kind of game. The thing is that blockchains, by definition and by necessity, are deterministic. There is no randomness on a blockchain. You can get like pseudo-random numbers, but anybody with a little bit of knowledge can guess what is the random number will be if you are only using blockchain-based data. So Chainlink came up with and implemented in production this idea of getting randomness from off-chain to on-chain in a way that it can be verified, and this is the difficult part. It can be verified that randomness wasn't manipulated with. It means if I have a giveaway, if I have a big game where a random number will decide about the chances or even the survival of some of the players, it's super important, especially if there are prizes, it's super important that this number is not predetermined, it's not set to a number that prefers our favorite player. And this is a non-straightforward problem. This is not an easy problem. Getting random numbers on the blockchain is easy. Getting random numbers where you can mathematically prove that the number is really truly random and nobody could have known it in advance is difficult. And that is what Chainlink did, and that is basically that enabled us to do all the engagements, all the games, all the other things that we are doing with the platform. That's why we only go to chains, we only go to layer twos that is supported by Chainlink's VRF, verifiable random number. And the other thing is their cross-chain technology, the CCIP, that makes it very easy to move tokens around. That is also something that is integral part of the system. I think, I'm not 100% sure, but I think we are either the first one or one of the very first projects that implemented CCIP in live. And yeah, that's it.
Thank you very much for that, Andras. I know you've hinted a little bit about some of the challenges of working in Web3 with this specific technology. And before we get into some of the tech and innovation, could you enlighten us with maybe some of the more human challenges of working in Web3? What are some things that maybe the technology hasn't solved, or some areas where we're still challenged?
Do we have another hour for this answer? But I think from the human side, one that turned out to be very challenging is managing the hype in the ecosystem. Every new technology, I mean, if you look back into history for hundreds of years, including railroads, every new technology may start with a hype cycle. Even railroads were hyped into high heavens when they actually got first deployed in England and other places. But this repeats, and some of us might actually be old enough to remember the dot-com boom. Similar story, but because of the peculiarities of blockchain. One of our big challenges is to show people that blockchain technology can be used, and very importantly used, for things that are beyond the hype. It can actually be used for creating sustainability. It can be used to create sustainable communities that can be funded and monetized. Very important, funded and monetized through this through utilizing properly the technology. And I think the big challenge that we are facing now, that we somehow need to go beyond the hype as a community and get to a stage where the real important parts of the technology can be utilized. If you think about it, in the 1980s, 1990s, people were creating advertisements. Companies were creating advertisements saying that we are using database technology. Like 10 years later, nobody did that because they said, of course you are using database technology. Everybody is using database technology. Without that, there is no business. And then in the early 2000s, it was like, ooh, we have a website, we are amazing. And people were hyped up projects purely based on having a website. Right now, having a website is not a great thing. This is a necessity. You don't do business. You cannot do business without a website. It is part of every business. And right now, what we have is that some companies say, "Oh, we are using blockchain technology and this and that," and this still tells me that we are still in the hype phase, because what we need to get to is that we need to get to the stage where we can respond to that, saying that, of course, you are using blockchain technology. Without using it, you can't actually do proper business. And once we get there, I think this is when we actually will see the real benefits of the technology. We just have to be able to get there.
Wow, thank you, Andras, for the amazing details. We already experienced that Chainlink supports us in various ways, but Nicole, can you tell us some details about what types of solutions Chainlink offers Web3 builders today?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, I mean, Andras is clearly an expert on VRF. So thank you so much for that explanation. I think that is definitely one of the solutions that helps a lot of projects around, in the industry. VRF, as Andras mentioned, provides cryptographically secure randomness for blockchain-based applications. And that is just one of several that we've been working on. Another one, which is, I guess, the first one, is data feeds or price feeds, which are a secure, reliable, and decentralized source of off-chain data to power smart contracts. Another solution that we've developed is automation, which usually works very well together with VRF, which is an automation solution that really enables developers to quickly scale their operations in a verifiable, decentralized, and cost-efficient manner. Then, very closely related to more, I'd say more so DeFi and real-world assets. We also have proof of reserves, which enable the reliable and timely monitoring of reserve assets. So this is something that provides a lot of security for DeFi projects and for the users, of course. Then we have Functions, which is a serverless developer platform that helps you to fetch data from any API. And you can also run custom compute using Chainlink's secure and reliable network. And finally, the latest solution that we launched is CCIP, which is a secure interoperability protocol for sending messages and enabling token transfers across many chains, and more to come. So I'd say we are now a platform that really services or offers very different types of solutions, and we're trying to be that friend or that tool that really supports any project that is looking at building in a blockchain in the best, more secure and reliable way. So yeah, I think that's a little bit about the products that we have today. We're of course working on updating them constantly, and I think that's it.
That's amazing, and I want to actually reflect on data feeds as well, because I think it goes into the same category or similar category as the verifiable random numbers. Once a data is on blockchain, is on a blockchain, it is there and it's not going to change. That is what blockchain is good at. But to make sure that we have the right data on the blockchain, that is super difficult. And this is what the data feeds from Chainlink can do. They can make sure that we can utilize data from the real world that is off from the not off the chain, that we can actually utilize on chain, and Chainlink system can make sure that that data can be relied upon. One example for this one was a project that we did a couple of years ago when we created these very nice dynamic cards for the NBA that worked in a way that during the season, all the player cards, every day they got updated with the achievements of the player that they did on that day on the basketball court. So every day the cards got perks, they got small traits, they got visual traits as well. And that project was made possible by Chainlink's data feeds that helped us to get the right data on chain, so we can create this dynamic feature on those cards. So this is just one of the examples that I forgot to tell you when I was listing out in what ways we are using Chainlink. Thank you.
Well, that's great, Andras. Thank you so much. Now, Nicole's kind of a mind reader and got to a little bit of my question already, so I'm gonna spice it up a little bit. Along with the latest tech advancements from Chainlink, is there anything you want to mention, perhaps about Deco or the proof of reserves that are now being mentioned all in the news? I think it's pretty great stuff happening there.
So I think we are working, as I mentioned just before, we are constantly working on improving the solutions that we have today, always exploring how we can keep supporting the ecosystem with new stuff coming up. I'd say at this time, we're kind of focusing on continuing to improve and build upon our decentralized Oracle network architecture, which is the common platform that everything from price feeds to CCIP runs on. And yeah, we're always adding new features that unlock new use cases. So, for example, talking about Chainlink automation, it now supports log event triggers. And then Chainlink Functions enables developers to integrate internet APIs into their smart contracts. So that's very exciting. And then we also continue to integrate with more chains. In fact, just last week at ETH Denver, we integrated CCIP with Metis, which is the Ethereum Layer 2 rollup. And yeah, I mean, I think about a roadmap ahead, I guess you'll have to keep tuned in. But as I said, always looking to improve and bring new solutions to everyone, to our users. Actually, Andres, I'd love to know more about any current or future trends that the Galaxy's team is excited about. So, like, what are you seeing out there? Yeah, could you share some of this with us?
Oh, right now, I will do my best. But what I see and what I would like to see even more is that projects, normal projects, not Web3 projects, will find and can see the use in the technology. Because if we really want to make sure that this technology becomes truly successful and not just a speculative tool, which we need to move beyond, then we need real people, real communities, and Web2 native people, Web2 native communities to see that yes, indeed, for these particular use cases, for creating unstoppable communities, for creating accountability, indeed, we can utilize the relevant parts of what blockchain, what Galaxis, and what Chainlink is offering. And I think with this new attention, new focus on the technology, I think we are seeing this kind of responses. We are seeing seeing Web2 businesses and traditional businesses having another look and seeing in what ways the technology can be really integrated and utilized into their own business. And I'm really happy to see this, because I think this is what we need in order to prosper and actually force to survive as a technology provider.
Thank you very much, Andras, for the answers. Nicole, could you tell us a bit more about how does Chainlink engage with and support their communities? Are there any upcoming initiatives or events that the community should look forward to?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's many different ways, really. Community is so important to us, just as Galaxis. And I think, okay, so first of all, for example, our Chainlink DevRel team continues to release Web3 developer education and content all the time. We're sponsoring hackathons, both large and small, all around the world. As recently as last week at ETH Denver. I hope someone here was around there. It was really cool. very closely related to this, we also encourage and facilitate in real life interactions with our community. For example, now at ETH Denver, we put together several events to connect with our community. I was around if anyone saw me. I think we put together the hackathon. We had our camping booth at the main conference, also Cabin Day and the S'mores Happy Hour. And then we also did a private networking event for Build founders. So we try to do this at any events that we go to. And well, we also have the Build program itself, which is a community and ecosystem growth program. And we're also partnering more and more with blockchain foundations via the Scale program to really expand our ecosystem. So yeah, I think we're like always looking at new ways of engaging with our community. And I'd say this year won't be the exception.
It's wonderful. Thank you so much for that, Nicole. Andras, what about Galaxis? How are we engaging and supporting our communities? And are there any upcoming events that you'd like to talk about?
Oh, yes, many. One of the most important thing is, for me, the most important thing is the upcoming platform release. I'm really looking forward to that, to see finally major parts of our technology hitting the ground stage and be able to provide support for everybody. We are, as I mentioned earlier, just finishing up our first Punk Royale tournament, where we had like 4,000 people, if I'm not mistaken, signing up and playing. And now we are down to 8, and somebody will take the actual CryptoPunk home. But if you did not know about it, don't worry, because we've got 2 more Punk Royale tournament coming up. We've got, because we are getting ready for the launch of the platform, we started another game, a mystery box game, where people can I think, enjoy some of the benefits of the platform. And when the platform is released, we will announce a host of projects utilizing the platform, but I think this is too early to talk about those. Whenever we are ready with that, we will start announcing those as well. So for now, Punk Royale, second and third tournament, we've got the mystery boxes, we've got the platform launch, and we've got a couple of other games and engagements that are coming up. You will be able to see them if you visit galaxis.xyz.
Thank you, Andras. Now, I'm going to try not to go in full fan mode here. Nicole, for those interested in diving deeper to Web3 and what Chainlink has to offer, what would you recommend people do to learn more about Chainlink and their technologies?
So, in my opinion, I think doing is always the best way to learn. So I would really recommend participating in hackathons for sure. We have several throughout the year, and of course, there's many others in this space as well. We offer great resources for the community on our blog and our docs pages. So actually, like, researching and reading Chainlink content was my first interaction with Chainlink before joining, and it's just excellent content, so I recommend it. You can also follow us on Twitter for updates and check out the build projects like Galaxis that are using Chainlink decentralized Oracle networks to solve real world problems. So you can find more information on Galaxis, our interaction, and also from the other build teams in our website at chain.link. So yeah, I think those would be great resources for anyone wanting to learn more.
Well, as a recap, Andras, what can we say, like in a very short sentence, what the community should expect to see from Galaxis in the near future?
Platform launch. For me, this is the most important thing, and that will keep us rather busy. But during the process getting up to the platform launch, and especially after the platform launch, you can expect a lot of fun things, engagements, and gamifications that are basically utilizing the platform's features. And this is very important. If we can do it for our community, you will be able to do it for your community as well if you create a community on Galaxis. Just one second about this. When you create your community on Galaxis, you are not going to be rely on Galaxis anymore. The reason we are saying unstoppable communities, because once you created your community, you can take it and you can run it without relying on Galaxis. I think this is very important if we want to take decentralization seriously. And we are taking decentralization seriously. So, platform launch and keep tuned.
All right, now comes the time for the fun question, Andras. What excites you the most about the next wave of innovation coming to Web3?
I want Web3 to become so boring that nobody will think about it and everybody will use it. This is what we need to get to. This is the same place where databases are. This is the same place where the internet is. Internet had an incredible hype cycle in the early 2000s, and then it collapsed by 99%. But the internet didn't go away. It became an integral part of our everyday life. We as a society, we as a civilization probably would not be able to exist without the internet, without the free internet. For me, the most exciting would be to get blockchain technology into the same status, to become so commonly used that it's actually boring and nobody talks about it and everybody is using it. That excites me the most.
We are all excited about Web3 and innovation. Andras, what would you recommend for someone who wants to learn more about Galaxis, where they should search or look for more information?
Well, obviously, start at galaxis.xyz, and for a lot more information, wiki.galaxis.xyz, where there is a lot more information are already deployed, and a lot more is coming. And if you find anything interesting, join our Discord channel and join our community and ask questions. We've got a very, very friendly, very professional, and very active team who is tending to the needs of the community. And we will do our best to answer all your questions.
Thank you. Thank you. One final thoughts for Nicole as well, as we wrapped up most of our questions and we are almost at the end of our space. Nicole, if there's anything you would like to share with us before we close this space.
Sure, thanks, Shoya. I think I'd just say that working with Galaxis has been an absolute pleasure. It's been and it will continue to be. I'm super excited to keep working and building together, and towards more focused on the build program overall. I think if you guys listening have a chance, definitely take a look at the website, follow these great projects in the build program, and follow us on Twitter for Chainlink. Check out the docs. There's a lot to learn from there. And thank you so much, Andras and the Galaxis team for having me today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for all of you for this amazing space. It was really, really great to be here with you, to hear your answers. Well, I can turn now into fangirl mode. Thank you very much. It was so exciting to dive deep into technology and details and all the amazing tech Galaxis and Chainlink is bringing us. So thank you, everyone, for being here, for listening to us. Where all of you are welcome on our Discord channels, Twitter thread, and hopefully see you soon. And yep, stay tuned. Galaxis is about to do some really amazing things in the upcoming weeks, months, and overall. Thank you very much again, Andras.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate this space and all the people who joined in. And as always, I'm very grateful for Chainlink, Nicole, Zaji, and all the great team at Chainlink who has been providing constant help for us. And I think it is understandable that I'm very excited about our upcoming launch as well. But let me finish and let me close this space with, since we have a couple of people here, let me close with this space with a generic advice, if I may, that whenever and wherever you engage with any projects, it is very important to do your own research. Very important to learn as much as you can about them, and very important to make up your own decisions every single time. This is a great and exciting and new technology, but because of that, it is also not without risks. So this is a generic advice when you are going out there, especially with, it looks like we might actually getting into a bull market, or so they say. It is very important to understand whenever you engage with something, please do it with caution, do your own research, and go in with your eyes open. Thank you very much for joining, and I'm looking forward to speak with all of you again. Bye-bye.